Are your employees learning out in the field, or do they have a reliable test lab that they can utilize inside your office to ensure that they are able to learn on their own time and not have to learn on projects? Hi, my name is Phil Zito. I'm the founder and CEO of Building Automation Monthly, where we provide businesses with training and skill assessment services so that they can go and decrease their time to revenue and increase the profitability of each one of their building automation employees. So I talk to a lot of businesses, especially businesses that are small to medium size, and something that they all seem to have in similarity, I guess, for lack of a better word, is they don't have a test environment for their employees, which is really surprising to me. You know, the last thing we want is an employee to have to learn how to use a supervisory device on a project where their time is billable and they're essentially charging non-profitable time to a project, and they could potentially break stuff. So what we want to do is figure out how can we, especially for employees who want to invest their own personal time in skill development, which is a whole nother Daily BAS video we'll discuss. But how can we create an environment so that they can be able to develop themselves and do it without having to be working on a project? So the first thing we want to do is we want to create an environment in which they can develop themselves. To do that, we typically need three things. One is a supervisory device. The other is the software to configure that supervisory device. And then the third is a field controller along with some inputs, outputs, and some power. Now I realize that's actually like 5 things, but anyways, those are the things we need. Once we have those though, we want to set them up so that they can be accessed either locally, the person can go in and work on them locally, or they can be accessed remotely. So this would be where you set up a VPN, folks can VPN into your business network, and then they're able to configure the supervisory device while they're sitting on their couch watching football. So they're able to practice on demand. The third thing we want to do is we want to take that controller, that power, those inputs and outputs, and make them where they can be checked out and taken home. That way folks can practice on their inputs and outputs, they can practice on their controllers. Now, why did I pick these specific devices and parts and pieces? Because if we think about BAS performance, there's really 2 areas where folks get hung up. Number 1 is supervisory devices, and how do we set them up, how do we work with them, how do we add graphics, etc., etc. The other is field controllers. How do we power them up, how do we configure them, how do we wire up the inputs and outputs to them? If we address those 2 things, then what we're doing is we're addressing some of the biggest causes of revenue reduction and profitability loss in our business. And by creating this lab that can be both accessed remotely as well as locally, we're giving employees who are interested in self-development a chance to develop themselves without having to be on a project where they're billing time towards that project and ultimately costing the profitability of that project. So while this will cost you a couple $1,000s to invest in up front, it will actually pay massive dividends downstream from this, just from the savings you'll have on projects alone, plus the fact that your employees will feel more loyal to you because you're investing in their development, and they also will be able to invest in themselves and learn themselves. So if you haven't already done this, I really encourage you to go and develop your own working lab. In the comment section below will be a link to a blog post that you can go and read, and it'll talk through how to set up a lab, what parts and pieces we recommend, and it'll give you some ideas on what you can do within your business to be able to go and set up this working lab. All right, I look forward to talking to you in the comment section below and discussing how you're using lab environment within your business to optimize your employees' performance. And like I said, in the comments below this video, you'll find a link to the episode, or rather to the blog post, that will tell you kind of how to set up a lab. Thanks a ton for watching, and I look forward to talking to you in tomorrow's daily video. Take care.